So hopefully we're good. So Ms. Nettie, thank you so much for being willing to help me out and do a presentation. I really appreciate it. I'm like, I know there's so many other things you can probably be doing right now, like moms are so busy. And so I really appreciate the help with this. I'm really excited about it. I don't know if Julie told you, or I don't know, Monta, but I'm working with this company this summer to get some like business experience. I mentioned on the phone, they give scholarships that help pay for school. So I'm super excited about that. And then it really helps me develop my interpersonal skills, so communication, time management, organization, like a lot of different things that'll help me for the future. So really those soft skills. But do you mind if I share some of my goals with you and just share a little bit about like what the heck I'm up to, like a little bit more?
Yes, of
Awesome.
course.
Thank you. Let me pop this bad boy up here real quick. All right. This is just a little bit about me real quick. I grew up in South Florida. I went to Palm Beach Atlantic, it's a Christian college. I'm the oldest of four kids. I grew up very low income family, and really learned to work my booty off my parents basically told me when I was in middle school, like, if you want to go to college, you have to pay for it yourself. So worked really hard in school, got good grades, played sports, was able to get scholarships, super blessed for that, and had some amazing mentors. But bumped into this job and I'm so excited about it. Like randomly, like I found a business card on the floor at school, and then I found out they actually work with my school, and a couple of my buddies actually have been working with them and they earn college credits already. My friend right now is an assistant manager. One is competing for a scholarship. And so I'm super excited because there's like a lot of really cool perks. And I had no idea, that they like worked with my school. I was just looking for some cash to like pay for school and study abroad. And there's like so much more, which I'll share. But my family, like I really work hard to make them proud. I'm so grateful for everything my parents did for us. Like we didn't have much, but they always have worked their butts off to provide anything and everything that they can for us. And, being the oldest, like I really want to be a good example to my siblings. And so it's something that I really, strive for, long term in the future. Like I right now I'm studying accounting and international business, and I'm not sure exactly the career path. I just know that I want to own my own business one day or multiple. I want to be an entrepreneur. I really want time and money freedom. It's something we didn't have growing up, like we always couldn't do things because like my parents had to work or like there wasn't enough money. And so I
Mhm.
want the ability to like be at my kids' games, to like be able to be at the recitals, like to be able to do cool things, to be able to give back, travel the world, contribute. Like I love doing ministry. That's something my dad had us doing since we were little. And it's a big part of my world. And these are just some of the fun goals, I have for the future. And so I'm really excited to be working with Cutco because like I mentioned, like I had no idea it was like a big student program, and they have all of these different things that I can like help me stand out basically. So when I graduate, I can stand out as a top recruit. And so this summer, one of my goals is to earn my President's Club letter. This is a hand signed letter from the president of a $250 million company saying I'm amazing and like basically saying like, she's got these skills and like we highly recommend her or whatever. And so I'm really excited to have that on my resume. Consistency Club. That's one of the things I'm striving for every week. Being on the company newsletter, because that shows companies that like I'm not just like a one hit wonder, but I'm someone who's dependable. I'm someone that they can count on, and that's a consistent performer. There is an All American scholarship, which I'm really like. That's a big focus of mine this summer is to win a scholarship for both the financial aspects, but also for the monetary. To just like help pay for books and things, since I do pay for school on my own. And so there's some different things here, but one of the biggest things that I'm like working to stand out this summer is for this program that you see on the top right. It's called Leadership Academy.
Mhm.
And so Leadership Academy is something that our company runs. And it They teach, like, this was
Now
last
connect
year's
to this
agenda, but they
conference
basically
instead.
teach us a lot of life skills. Okay. And if you look here, like talking, things like that they don't teach us in school, like communication, conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, levels of leadership, abundance mindset, goal setting, financial fitness, and so much more, right? And so I'm really excited to be able to gain these things, because instead of taking like another degree in leadership or in business, like they also teach us how to run a business and how to build a business, but really building the mental and emotional capacity to be able to do that. So anyway, that's something I'm really excited about, standing out to be able to get an interview and be able to be a part of that. And so far, this summer, I was able to get promoted to key staff. I was able to, whatever things you have. And I'm excited to keep collecting all the things, all the awards. So this summer, this month, the summer, like I'm really focused on, doing 120 appointments over the next 6 weeks. And so basically 20 to 25 appointments a week is my focus. I know if I do that, I'm going to be able to hit my goal. I'll be able to win a scholarship. I'll be able to be accepted into the Leadership Academy, save $5,000. But most importantly, I'm excited to be introduced to over 1,000 people this summer. And I'll tell you about that a little bit more later, but every presentation counts. I started this week. So right now I'm actually in my Fast Start contest. And so my Fast Start, basically it's a contest they do for us to like motivate us to work hard, but reward us for our hard work. I have a chance to win over $1,000 in free product. There's a scholarship I can win. There's a trip I can win. So that's super fun. So like I said on the phone, you don't have to get anything. I do get paid just to do it. And Miss Susie, honestly, this stuff is way too expensive for you to buy just to be nice. I'm assuming you didn't put away a couple grand waiting for the knife girl to come by. All right. But keep a lookout, because if you guys have any weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, Father's Day coming up, we even have Christmas and July specials. But any gifts that you needed to buy anyway, or anything you see you might like for you, not only are you getting an unbelievable product, but it obviously helps me out with my contests and stuff too. Cool. But again, thank you just for taking time, because it serves a lot. And if you do end up purchasing today, know that it also goes to a really good cause. 10% of everything that I make, I always give back to my church or to charity. My office actually built this clinic, not just my office, but like Cutco Friends. My boss, her best friend, actually is from Haiti. And, over a decade ago, there was a really bad earthquake. They lost the hospital on the south part of the island. And then this was something that the Cutco family came together, raise funds, and was able to build, and it's serving people on the south part of the island in Haiti. And so it's a medical clinic, and they have like everything, like dentist, OBGYN, eye doctor, there's a surgery room, there's an ICU like for delivering babies. So it's just something that I know they're really proud of. So if it's something that you'd want to donate to, my goal is to raise $1,000 this summer, as we're trying to raise money for the solar panels. And you could do it directly on the site. It's a nonprofit. It's tax deductible. You just let me know if you're going to donate how much, so I know how much I helped raise. That'll feel really cool. But that's something that I'm working hard for. And then lastly is my sponsorship. This has nothing to do with sales. Cool. It's a free way to help, just like you did the appointment now. And I'll show you later. I'm like, this is just for introducing me to nice people, like Miss Claudia introduced me to you. And so I'll talk about that more at the end. My goal is to sell in every state in the US. So I can do appointments, in person or virtually, like we're doing right now. So I'm super excited for that. But I just want to say thank you again so much, Miss Nettie, for just taking time out for me. Because like I said, I know moms are busy and there's other things you could be doing. And I just really appreciate it. Cool. So is as far as the actual presentation, so we can show. First thing, can you grab your phone real quick so that you can scan this I have this app here that is going to allow you to give feedback. And so my managers also know that I did it. This is like kind of how I get credit and going through. So you can download that, and I'll show you at the end. There's actually a way for you to help sponsor me to reach my goals with the company. And so grab that. And if it uploads quickly, you can answer the questions now. If not, we'll do it at the end. No problem. Cool.
Okay.
And so I usually keep going. Like, yeah, I'm like, we'll get to that later. No worries. I'm like, but like I said on the phone, and I mentioned before, you don't have to get anything. I'm like keep a lookout. Because if you do see something you like for you or for gifts, we can get you the best deal today. And not only would you be getting a great product, but you'd also be helping me out towards my goals. And also, I'm only able to work through referrals. So another one of my goals is that you love me and you like me, you like Cutco enough to recommend me to some of your friends. Okay. So Cutco's awesome. You can buy sets for pieces. We have tons of accessories, gifts, hunting, and more. We also have interest-free monthly investment options. So you don't have to pay for it all at once. And just so you know, the more you buy at once, the more you actually end up saving. So again, if you see stuff, let me know. But if not, thank you again for just doing the appointment. And just so I know, Miss Nettie, do you cook because you have to, you like to, or because you love to?
because I love to.
Oh, you're gonna love Cutco. All right. Super excited to show you. And you've never seen Cutco before, or have you seen it?
No,
Oh my
never
gosh.
seen it.
That's awesome. Actually, I found out my grandma's actually owned Cutco since 1957. I found out my best friend's parents have actually owned it since the 70s. One of the guys in my work, his parents have had him for over 60 years. So anyway, just kind of cool. Products are pretty outstanding. So I'm excited for you to see them. So if nothing else, Miss Nettie, you're gonna get some knife knowledge here in the next 15, 20 minutes. Cool. And then we'll wrap up and go from there. So, today I'll walk through, like what Cutco's the best made brand in the US. We'll take a look at our product line, we'll review prices, and we'll go through specials at the end. All right. So let me just tell you a little about the company. We've been around since 1949. All Cutco knives have been made in the United States in our factory in Olean, New York. We actually sell over $200 million worth of Cutco annually with over 16 million customers. And Miss Nettie Cutco is one of the only products that you can actually buy once, use every day, and never have to replace. All right. And have you heard of K-Bar before? K-Bar knives?
No, I have not.
Okay. Have you heard of the Marines before? Military branch?
Yes,
Okay, I was
yes,
just joking, but so we actually we make K-Bar, which is what the Marines use to protect our country, and other military branches and stuff use it as well. So Cutco is a proud producer of K-Bar knives used by both military and law enforcement agents. So as far as quality goes with the products, which we'll go through, super, super high quality. So obviously it's not cheap. It's definitely an investment. And Cutco is also involved with many local and national charities. So that's really cool too. So this right here, oh my gosh, I wish I was with you in person, but you got to check this out. I'm like, these are our scissors. I'm like, these bad boys. I'm like, everybody loves our scissors. I'm gonna just mute while it cuts it. I'm like, but check this out. Look at this. Look at how it cuts through the penny, by the way. This is for real. Um, uh, we actually did this at my office in training. But these scissors, you can cut, they're good for like everything in the kitchen, as well as indoor and outdoor projects. So you can use them for the garden, you can use them for the kitchen, you can use them for cutting pizza, plastic packaging, like those like vacuum seal packages for electronics and stuff.
yeah,
Like it's really good for that, or toys as well. My mom, she like cuts like the fat off the chicken with her, like even chicken bones and stuff. Like she loves these scissors. They're unbelievable. And so they're dishwasher safe and they come apart for easy cleaning. And our vegetable peeler, I don't know if you've ever used a vegetable peeler before, like those little metal ones like we used to have in my house. And my dad makes like the best mashed potatoes. But the rule was like we had to peel the potatoes, which was awful with those metal ones. This, you see how it goes back and forth? Like it's so fast.
yeah,
It goes back and forth. It has a little thing at the top. You can actually take the eyes out of potatoes. And then if and when it dulls, I mean, eventually, but it might be like 20 years from now. But at any time, you can send it to the factory and they'll, again, replace it for free forever, which we'll talk about. Everything Cutco makes is guaranteed.
okay,
So let me show you where we got the idea for Cutco. All right. Miss Nettie, does this look familiar at all?
yes,
Like most households, most have like the
yeah,
drawer, full of stuff. And so these are actually the world's most expensive set of knives. Like the average knife. And do you know why? Do you have any guess on like why these are the most expensive? Like the
no,
not Cutco. I mean, Cutco's not cheap, but the drawer is the most expensive. Do you know why?
No,
Okay.
because yeah, no.
Well, the average knife is actually only made to last a couple years, right? So most households actually waste so much money replacing cheap knives over and over. And so I'm sure, you know this better than I do, but cheap knives have a lot of problems. And so little knife knowledge for you here. The two most common handles that are used are wood and plastic, right? For like lower grade. And so sets with wood, like they're attractive when they're new, but they are extremely unsanitary. I'm like, they absorb liquids, bacteria, grease, germs, they retain odors. I'm like, there are states, by the way, Miss Nettie. I don't know if you know this, but like restaurants aren't even allowed to use wood handles because of sanitation concerns. Like they will not pass code in their kitchen because wood absorbs all the bacteria and stuff and not going to attract cockroaches. So it's really nasty. Um, then you've got sets with plastic handles. And so sets with plastic, when it's, your cheaper stuff, they're usually cheaply constructed or they're glued together, they melt, they chip, they crack, they break. When they're slippery, when they're wet, which is also dangerous when you're cutting. And then, so anyway, that's not good either. And so a lot of these like, common sets are not constructed very well. So you have the tang. So first of all, the tang, you can't really see it here. And, I always like to show them a knife or they have their stuff because I'm at their house, but I'm like, it's the part of the metal that actually goes into the handle. Okay. And so most knives have a partial tang. So meaning like the metal only goes a little bit into the handle versus all the way through. Okay. And so it makes them weak and unbalanced and they can break easily. All right. Now, most rivets are made of brass, which expands, contracts, loosens, or it gets little gaps. If you look at like that first knife, that first picture, you kind of see like a dark circle around the little rivet, like those little things that hold it together, the
Hmm.
rivets. That's like bacteria. Like if you look at home, you'll see all this goop because it expands and contracts and it gets all in there. So again, like super, super unsanitary. As far as the steels go, you see the top one, that's called carbon. Sets with carbon steel, Miss Nettie, that's what they use carbon for, like machetes, axes, fillet knives, a lot of outdoor stuff. Cool. And so carbon steel, it's strong, but it rusts and it corrodes, which is again unattractive and unsanitary. My boss had said he's like, it's literally the same rust you find on the end of a tailpipe. It's like you probably don't want to get your iron intake that way, right? So not so good. So, are you familiar with stainless steel? Like the even if you don't know about it, but like you've heard stainless steel before, like that
Yes.
those words or that term. So they recommend stainless steel for like everything in your kitchen, right? And so stainless steel, it looks good, and it's very clean, very clean. The problem is that it's a soft metal. So for knives, it's really difficult to sharpen. And so they go dull fast, Have you had some of your knives like go dull pretty quick that you
Yes.
yeah, and so that happens because stainless is not made to do that. Especially if it's a straight edge, Miss Natty, that's stainless, like that's gonna dull right away. And so there's two types of edges. You've got sets with serrated. You know when it has little teeth on it, all right, little teeth.
Hmm.
Those are the serrations. So like in that picture, it's the middle knife, right? That has the little teeth.
Hmm.
So it's made to like rip and tear at the food. Cool. And it can't be sharpened. When they're done, they're done. All right. So a lot of if you meet somebody that's like a chef or loves to cook, like they know they're like, I don't use serrated unless they're like using it to like cut a steak. They use straight edges because straight edges, they make smooth cuts. All right. They give clean cuts. But again, they have to be sharpened every time they're used in order to remain effective. And it's the actual board, like whatever surface that the knife is actually hitting, that's what dulls them, not the actual food. And so both of these types of edges, like the actual edge is having direct contact with the board. So it does dull them quickly. And a dull knife is a way more dangerous because you're like fighting with it, than a sharp one because you have to push harder. So anyway, so there's your knife knowledge for today. So let me show you how Cutco has solved, all of these problems. All right. And so you said you've never heard of Cutco before?
No.
Okay, I should have had you do a drum roll before we flip the page
Oh.
here. But let me tell you a little bit about why so many customers used to and choose to invest in Cutco. I mean, there are 5 features that make Cutco the finest set of cutlery. And actually, Miss Nettie, if you do you have a pen and paper? Because I'm going to go through prices in a little bit here too. If you want to grab a pen and paper, I'm going to show you it's a 1 minute video, but if you can write down, there are 5 features that make Cutco the best, because we're going to talk about it right after real quick. All right. So let me just put this on for you. And if you can write those down, we'll talk about it.
5 features that make Cutco the world's finest cutlery. The first, high-grade 440A steel. This steel is expensive to manufacture, but it's worth it because it has the best of both worlds. It has carbon for edge retention and stainless for beauty, making it sanitary and sharp. Next is the thermo resin handle. This material will never chip, crack, or break. It resists heat more than normal plastics, and it's not cheap, but it's worth it because it's dishwasher safe and sanitary. Number 3, the full tang triple rivet construction. Using the extra steel is more expensive, but it's worth it because it creates strength and balance. The 3 nickel silver rivets are flush with the handle, making it strong and sanitary.
And those don't
and there's
move.
no place for food particles to hide or rot. Next is the universal wedge lock handle. It fits any size hand, righties or lefties. Fingers lock into place, increasing control and safety while reducing fatigue when cooking big meals. The handle design is exclusive to Cutco. It's stylish yet practical, comfortable and safe.
Yeah, we have a
And
patent on
finally,
that.
the famous Stay Sharp Double D edge.
Check our edge
There
out.
are 3 razor-sharp straight edges up inside the blade. The points protect the edges, keeping them sharper longer. The edge is an expensive feat of engineering, but it's worth it because Cutco will stay sharper than any other knife.
Awesome. So Miss Nettie, so there's 5 features. Did you get to catch the first one? I know it kind of went fast.
Yes, the high grade steel.
The steel. Yeah, so the 440 grade A steel. So this is a steel that combines both. It's the high carbon and stainless. So it stays sharp and stays clean. Cool. So it costs more money to have it, but it's great because it does have the best of both worlds. The second one was the actual material of the handle, right? The thermal resin.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this material costs more. This is similar to what they use for bowling balls, football helmets, inside of dishwashers. But it's great because it doesn't crack, chips. Now, like think about football helmets hitting each other, right? Like they're not going to break. So it really lasts a long time and it's super sanitary. So that's why we spend the money on it. The third feature that you saw was the actual, it talked about the full tang and the triple rivets, right? And so the blade goes all the way through. So like I mentioned before, that's really good balance. So anytime if you're in a store and you see like a blade goes all the way through the handle, you know that that's a good thing, and then it also has the triple rivets. So it has 3 rivets. So it's just better support and better balance. The fourth feature, it was talking about the actual like handle. So we have patents on this. Like if it's lefties, righties, big, small hands, again, it costs more to have it, but it's worth it. We've won awards from the Arthritis Foundation, different things like that, which is pretty cool. And then lastly is that edge you see there in the picture that I was talking about. So our cutting edges are actually the insides. So like the little points that are touching the hard surfaces, I talked about before how the hard surface is dull. Those little points, they're actually not the cutting thing. They're like, I don't know, like little protectors, like little bouncers. They're protecting the cutting edges. The cutting edges are the 3 things inside. So they cut forwards, backwards, and down. Cool. And the little points are just keeping the edges off the actual cutting board. So that's why like this will stay sharp for a long singing time. So unlike a serrated edge, Cutco's double D edge has the 3 straight edge that cut, forward, back, and down. And, this will keep them sharp for at least 10 years. And they can still be resharpened after that. And some people will have them even longer. And so while most of our knives have the double D edge for cutting back and forth, some Cutco knives have the straight edges for chopping, dicing, and precision cutting. And so this unique edge uses expensive technology, but it's definitely worth it, and you'll see, I forgot to play this, but like basically just showing like with the serrated, it'll just kind of rip and tear. Like that's how those knives cut, is they rip and tear at food. And that's why a lot of chefs don't use, actually no chefs use serrated knives. Then the straight edges do give clean cuts, but they have to be sharpened every time that they're used. And then with Cutco, it will cut the same way. I mean, with a straight edge, you can literally use it 3 times and it's already dull and you have to sharpen it. Where with Cutco, you can keep using that knife for the next 10 years. And I've already met customers who had them for 15 years, 20 years or more, and it still cuts amazing. So anyway, that's pretty cool. But the best thing about Cutco and the biggest reason that it costs what it does is our 4-part forever guarantee. So Cutco is one of the only products that you can buy once, use every day, and never have to replace. The product itself, Miss Nettie, is actually your proof of purchase, and you can pass it down generation after generation. Cool. And so the first thing is the forever performance, which you see on the top left. If anything ever goes wrong with your Cutco, just send it back to the factory and the company will fix or replace it for free. You should never have to pay to replace your knives. All right. The second is the top right, which is the forever sharpness. Whenever your Cutco needs sharpening, just send it back and it'll be sharpened for free. All you pay for is the shipping. Pretty cool. And by the way, my grandma did that after having it for 40 years. She sent it in, got them back. That's pretty cool. The third is unconventional use. Okay. And so this is the bottom right. But like if you do something like you destroy your Cutco through unconventional use, like, I don't know, you're opening paint cans, or cutting a tree down with it, like it's made for the kitchen to cook, not for that. The company will still replace it at half off. All right. And then lastly, the unconditional return policy. We have a 15-day risk-free money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason at all, you can get a full refund. Cool. And so sometimes like we can't see both spouses together, right? And so they really love this because you can try out Cutco together for a few weeks, risk-free. Make sure you both love it. And Cutco is such a great investment because you'll never have to buy another set of knives again. And you can't beat American made knives and forever guaranteed, which is awesome. And these are some, like people who own them who's talking about how much they love them, which is really cool.
They're the best knives, and all the other knives I bought don't compare. You need a good knife in your kitchen, get it. The best of the best that I've made, yeah. I've had my Cutco for 25 years.
You've had our Cutco more than 20 years.
It's almost 40 years. 50 years.
And at least 50 years.
It's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome. I like the grip of the handles and just the way all the knives cut.
All right. And we keep going, but how cool, right, Miss Nettie? How many things do you have in your house that you've actually used like every single day and you'll have forever? I know my parents like that's a rare thing, right? To have. So most things in a house, you're going to end up, rebuying them with time. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So last thing I want to show you is just our sets real quick, and then we'll go through prices. All right. Okay. So you can buy individual pieces, Miss Nettie, but most people agree that over a lifetime, sets are a way better value. It's important to have the right tool for the right situation just because of safety and efficiency. And so we actually have 2 larger sets. This one that I'm showing you on the screen in the 3 colors is actually our basic set that we have had since 1949. But we have our signature family for those who love to cook and entertain. And we have our complete set for people who cook a ton or love to have the best or have big families. And I'll show you those briefly in a little bit. But it's important to have the right tool for the right situation because of safety and efficiency. So I'm going to start by just walking through real quick the pieces in the basic set. This is our most popular. Like I said, it's been around since 49. It's called the Homemaker Plus 8. It has the minimum number of tools to do 100% of the jobs in your kitchen as efficiently as possible. It's actually 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. All right. So I'm going to walk you through that. And just so I know, which color do you guys like better? You like the classic, the pearl, or the red handles?
The pearl.
The pearl? Oh, yeah. That's what my parents love too. Well, the Homemaker is the best value for the average family. And it actually starts with your paring knife. So have you ever used an air knife before? It's the air, basically everything in the air. Have you ever used a knife like this before?
Yes.
Well, so this has a long handle, which makes it easy for peeling. So we use this for like chopping off strawberries, cutting bananas for cereal, cutting open avocados. My mom eats apples like she's Huck Finn. Do you guys ever do anything like that? What do you use it for?
We use it for peeling apples.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my mom also like cuts pieces off like with peaches or apples, going through there. And actually, I'm going to move locations. It is breakfast time in my house. Anyway, so this is yeah, you can use it for anything in the air. You never want to use it on the board though. And so that's why we have the next tool, which is the trimmer. All right. And so give me 1 second here. All right. So as far as the next one, the next one's the one you're going to use on the board. Okay. So that is called our trimmer. And sit down here. So our trimmer, let me pop it up here for you. This is one of the favorites. It's your small utility tool for small fruits and veggies. Basically, think fist size. All right, Miss Nettie, like anything small like that is what you can even use it for trimming fat off of meat or small things. But I love, I'm like, have you ever cut like a tomato with a dull knife, by the way? You're like poking
Yes.
it and going around it, or squishing it. Look at this. Look at how this works. Like it literally works like this. Like when you get it, you're going to be blown away. All my customers, when they receive stuff, they're like, what? Just because of how easy it makes things. And especially with, again, how crazy life is and how busy moms are. Most don't love to spend tons of time in the kitchen. Some do. I know you love to cook, but just, being able to do things, it's so much more enjoyable too when you have good tools that work well, but you'll never smash a tomato again. And it's great for cucumbers, oranges, limes, things like that. All right. And so everyone loves the versatility, but you don't want to use this for spreading. Okay. And so that's why we have the next tool in your set. And so do you guys ever make like sandwiches? Peanut butter and jelly, that's my jam. Or Miss Nettie, do you guys do like cream cheese on bagels or cakes or brownies or lasagnas or anything like that?
Yes, we do
Okay.
bagels.
Sweet. So this is your bagel knife then. But even when you have like casseroles or things in dishes, it's really nice because you can actually cut it, you can scoop it, and you can serve it. And so the edge itself, like it's really like the flat part is really great for spreading. But then you actually have like the double D edge is on one of the sides of the spatula. And so that makes it really great. So like, let's say you did your bagel, you can spread it. And if you want to cut it in half, you only have one tool to clean. So you don't have to like get multiple things dirty. Cool. So just so you know that. So you won't use it, on meats or medium-sized veggies. And so that's why we have our larger utility, which I'll show you. But this is one of my faves. So this guy right here is your everyday, meat knife, medium-sized fruits and veggies. You can also use it for like eggplant, squash. You'll see here like cantaloupe, just all those medium size that it goes through. And so a lot of times people buy stuff pre-cut, instead of they buy stuff pre-cut instead of whole because it's just easier and their knives are not that great. With these, like it literally just glides through. Like we did at my office during training, they had a pineapple and we took that knife and it was like, and it just went right through. I was like, what? And we were just cutting it. I'm like, it's amazing. All right. Works really, really well. So that's your medium size. And then there's the turning fork. Let me see here if it's towards the end of this video here. But the turning fork you can use together with it or by itself. Or no, I'll just put it back here in the picture. So you see that fork to the right? So it has 3 little tines so you can grab things with it. And you just put it on the side and turn it and it comes right off. And so it's really nice for taking like pickles, cherries, things out of a jar, or serving at the dinner table, or even when you're like flipping cooking. So the next tool in your set, last couple things, you have your heavy duty. And so this right here, you just whack with it, like acorn squash, any tough things, lobster tails. Or my mom would buy bags of chicken wings. And instead of separating all of it from the freezer, she would just take out what we need to defrost and put the rest back in there, right? So think of this, lobster tails, I don't know, ribs. If you buy chicken whole instead of pre-cut, you also save money. So I joke around with my customers because if you look at it, it kind of looks like the Aladdin knife, right, Miss Nettie? But this is the protector of your basic set. You might not use it every day, but it's for, you literally whack with it whenever there's something heavy duty that you want to whack. You don't want to do that with the other knives because that can hurt it. Cool. So it's the only knife that's strong enough for that, but it is not a chopping knife. And so that's why we have our delicate chopper. So this right here, Miss Nettie, have you ever seen like chefs on TV cutting and you're like, it does not look like that in my house?
Yes.
So this right here is made for dicing and chopping, and especially for those, I know you love to cook, but people that don't, like, this makes it so much more enjoyable because it's so much faster. Like my mom used to like sit there and go piece by piece with a little knife trying to cut like carrots for like our soup or whatever. And then when we got this and she started like chopping with it, she was like, oh my gosh, because it just kind of like glides through, especially when you're doing the dicing and chopping aspect. Like it's so much faster. So it has high knuckle clearance and it makes it really easy for dicing, mincing, chopping. They basically say it's great for the 6 S's: soup, salad, stir fries, stuffing, stews, and salsa, you know? So there, you see that? So
Yes.
much faster than trying to do that with like a little knife piece by piece. So it does save a lot of time. But we do have our long bladed bread knife. It's literally like the best bread knife in the world. You can also use it for shredding cabbage, lettuce, boneless meats, but not with anything with a bone. And that's the last thing we have is the master carving set. So again, this is designed to cover all your basics in a kitchen for a lifetime. This, when you have your turkey, lamb, ham, roast, whatever, you're going to utilize this. So you've got your, turkey for the holidays. And so this fork, if you look at it, it has 2 long tines because it's made for like anchoring it down, like holding the bone down while you're carving the turkey. Cool. And so that's really, those are all the basics. So if you have barbecues, host family dinners, you guys will use it for like big roast, family occasions. And even my vegetarians, they're like, oh, we use it for like big melons. They love the S shape of the knife because it like, just kind of scoops it around really easy. But do you see how over a lifetime you would use the tools in the set?
Yes, I do.
And then to complete the set, we actually have the table knives. These are for every time you eat, Miss Nettie, and you guys sit down, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can use these. These are like a butter knife and a steak knife had a baby and put it on steroids. All right, no, I'm just kidding, but it's really strong. So you can butter your bread. You can cut tomatoes in your salad. But you can also cut a big steak. Okay, for those who like to eat meat, I know a lot of Texans do. And so it cuts fantastic. It'll take out anybody's steak knife. But and I'll show you, we do have another option because Texans requested it a while back and they did it. But we recommend 2 table knives for every family member, so you don't have to wash them after every meal. All right. And so again, these cut forwards, back, down. I did this with when I was doing the presentation with my dad. We were eating pork chops that night and he stacked 6 pork chops. Okay. Because he just wanted to see like the down, because I was telling him about the down motion, how these cut forward, how they cut backwards. And then you'll see this, they'll stack it up, but he put 6 pork chops stacked. And I'm like, Dad, it's not made to go through like 6 pork chops. He's like, well, I just want to see this, right? That down motion. And he puts the knife next to the 6 pork chops and just goes whoop, and it goes through all of them. I was like, holy crap. We were both so impressed. So it's pretty cool. So I love to do that when I'm in person. But for customers who do like the feel of a larger steakhouse steak knife, our 2 larger sets do come with that option. All right. And so that's the signature. That's the one. Think about like at a Miss Nettie, if you go to a restaurant, like the signature dish, right? This is like, the set we're known for those that like to cook or do basic entertaining is our signature. And then our complete is for people who love to cook, like you, love to entertain, have big families, or they just love to have the best. All right. But for the customers who like the feel of the larger steakhouse, those 2 sets, they actually come with the option of table knives or the steak knives. Cool. And so the steak knife is actually the same length as the trimmer that I showed you earlier, the second knife, but it has a wider blade and a rounded tip. And so the signature set comes with 10 of them. 10 steak or 10 table knives, you get to pick. And the complete set comes with 12. And so these are perfect when you have company over, or you don't want to run the dishwasher constantly, you have those extra things there. All right. And then we have different storage options. The blocks, by the way, question, which one do you like better? I'm curious. I always take a poll on the cherry finish on the left, all the way in the left, or
Mhm.
the regular oak finish.
I like the honey oak.
The honey oak. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And I think it depends too on your kitchen. I'm like, we have the white handles with the cherry that's on the left that looks so pretty. But yeah, they're
Mhm.
beautiful. You can have the blocks, and then also the cutting boards come with the sets, but you also have a tray option that some people will use. But I think they're a showpiece. Like people walk into the kitchen and they're like, oh my God, wow, and so they love it. But all the sets come with a free cutting board, and that's important to use that, like it's a soft plastic. So it doesn't dull the knives easily because glass, granite, and marble, they actually are too hard and they dull your knives. So I don't know if you knew that, but another little knife tip for you. All right. We'll wrap up with prices here in a second. Just so you know, we have kitchen tools, we have our entertainer pack and shears. Our vegetable peeler I showed you earlier, cuts in all ways, but like all these accessories are so amazing. We make homemade pizza all the time. And so I love the pizza cutter itself. I know you saw this one before, but the pizza cutter actually comes apart for easy cleaning. And so it's really nice. We make pizza at home. We also buy Costco pizzas, which we love. And so we love the pizza cutter, which I'll go the ice cream scoop. It like you could grab an ice cube, Miss Nettie, and you could just put it on there and it'll melt through the ice cube, by the way. I don't know how. It doesn't have liquid or anything in it. It's just a type of metal we use, and the reaction that it has, it goes right through. So it makes it super easy with ice cream. And then this is the pizza cutter I was telling you about. That's amazing. So if you have those Costco or grocery store pizzas, or you make your own at home like we do, there you go. Look, you see how it comes apart. So you don't get all the gook stuck in the middle, which is awesome.
Mhm.
And then we also have a cheese knife. Sorry, I moved too quick, but we have the cheese knife. And that it doesn't stick to the block, and you get nice thin slices with the cheese knife. So that thing's amazing as well. Cool. But just to wrap up, let me review why so many people choose to invest in Cutco. You always have sharp American-made knives that are comfortable, safe, and sanitary. Cutco is guaranteed to last forever. So it's the last set of knives you're ever going to buy. Cutco saves a lot of money. Most customers who buy Cutco, they eat out less. And let's just say that saves you $100 a month, right? $1,200 in a year. Over 25 years, Miss Nettie, you're going to save $30,000, and sometimes people don't think about how much we spend like going out to eat or even fast food. But anyway, there are several reasons why so many customers, choose sets. And you'll see, people just rave about this. But Cutco sets have the right tool for the right job. They have a built-in discount, so it's cheaper. Some sets come with a free cutting board and other free stuff. Sets are much safer just because they come in a block or tray. And we have the interest-free investment options, so you don't have to pay for it all at one time. Cool. And do you have that pen and paper with you, Miss Nettie?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go through prices so we can write some stuff down, and then we'll wrap up. So when it comes to high quality cutlery, it's like anything else. There is a wide variety of quality and prices. Cutco's top rated, so we only compare to the highest quality brands. Have you heard of the ones that you see on the screen here, the Wusthof or Schoon? Have you heard of them before?
I think I've heard of them once or twice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you go to like Williams-Sonoma or if you go to Macy's, like you're gonna see those at the store. They're like top rated in stores. Cool. And so
Mhm.
these each of these brands, they also have different types of they have different sets that range in price. So, Miss Nettie, like if you go to buy like a BMW, right? And there's like 3,
Mhm.
5, 7 series, there's different brands. And so they're different prices. So same thing. This one right here, like all the way on the left, the Wusthof, that is one of the most popular ones, is the Wusthof Classic Icon. This would be a higher grade. They do have lower as well. So obviously they're not cheap. They retail for over 3,000. Sometimes you can find them on sale, like you see there. Like right now, there's Memorial Day sales. There'll be different sales during the summer, and so you can catch them on sale. And that was the current sale price of, 2,325. All right, and even for that type of money, it's worth it. Like they are the best in stores. So there are some major differences between these brands and Cutco. So Wusthof has mostly straight edges. So they need to be sharpened, which again is kind of a hassle for the average mom. And if you do the wrong angle, I didn't even know this before, like you're actually dulling it instead of sharpening it, which is pretty wild. All right. Then they're not recommended for the dishwasher. The warranty is against manufacturing defects only. In comparison, Cutco has our universal wedge lock handle. It has the stay sharp edge, and we have the 4-part forever guarantee, including free sharpening. So Cutco owners, Miss Nettie, like my mom, my grandma, like my best friend's mom, Miss Peralta, Miss Hayden from my church, like they'll tell you it's like 10 times better than any knives they've ever used. You know, just considering the guarantee and the unique features, most people would agree Cutco is at least twice as good as Wusthof. And so when something offers twice the quality and, you know, lasts forever, you'd expect it to be at least twice the price, right? And so at twice the price, you're talking, let's say if we use the sale price, right? Write this down on your paper, actually. On the top left, you can put down 4,600. Okay. And so that's what it would be. You know, if we were looking at it in store. So at twice the price, you're looking at 4,600. So it would be like buying a really nice refrigerator or a really nice, you know, sofa or appliance, you know, for your home. All right. Now, the Homemaker Plus 8, which I mentioned earlier, is our most popular set. All right. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 4 times a week. It has the 10 basic tools I explained earlier, has the 8 table knives, the wood block, the cutting board, and the sharpener for straight edges. Now, Miss Nettie, the great thing is that it doesn't cost 4,600. So if you want, go ahead and cross that out on your paper. Let me know when you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Underneath that, you can write down 3,015. Go ahead and write that down. Okay, that's the price that I showed you before of the Wusthof. And actually, it doesn't even cost as much as that. So if you want to go ahead and cross that out too on your paper, you can cross that out. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the Homemaker Plus 8 is only 1613. All right. So you can go ahead and write down underneath that 1613. So it's like half the price. All right. That does include shipping. All right. And by the way, Miss Susie, these up here are not guaranteed forever, and ours is like half the price and guaranteed forever, which is kind of cool. And so you could pay in full today, but like I said earlier, I'm assuming you didn't put a couple grand waiting for the knife girl. So most of our customers, they take advantage of our 5-month interest-free easy pay. And I'll show you this here. And actually, if you want to put to the right of those numbers, you can write down 100% refundable. And it gives you 3 weeks to try it out and just see how you like it. So if you want to make a note of that, just so you know, 100% refundable. All right. And the deposit would come out to $325 plus the tax, which is different in every state. So I'll have to look that up. But that plus local sales tax, that's what you would put down. Cool. And so it would be that same amount each month. All right. So this actually, you know, if you're putting aside an amount, you know, per week, if you want to write down, this would be $80 a week. All right. Is what this would be. All right, there we go. And that actually, you know, comes out to about $40 each. All right. So I always want to make sure people know, because obviously this wasn't in the budget, but that's what you'd be looking at if you want to write it down. It's just you'd want to put aside about $80 a week, which is about $40 each. Cool. Okay. And so we have something called a buy now bonus, Miss Nettie, where if you buy now, I can actually give you the entire kitchen tool set, the entertainer pack with those 4 popular gadgets, or a pair of the super shears for free. All right. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out the Homemaker and get your free gifts?
Yes, I would.
Oh, awesome. I'm so excited for you. All right. By the way, very rare do they say yes right away. Very rare. If they do, you better sell more. So in this case, I say, Miss Susie, actually, or Miss Nettie, I know I didn't go through the prices for this, but You said you love to cook. I'm like, would you want me to go over and show you the larger signature or the complete set so that you know what's in there? Because that has like all your basic tools, all your specialty, literally your set forever. And so this actually shows you the differences in each of those sets and what comes in it. But would it interest you to take a look at the prices or know what deals are happening with those? Because we have some pretty cool deals.
No.
All right, awesome. No worries. Well, you're gonna love your homemaker. And I know you'll be calling me being like, all right, I'm ready to upgrade. Like everybody loves this stuff. They love it so much. All right. And so before we go through, did you want that in the classic or pearl?
The pearl.
In the pearl. Okay, awesome. And did you want to pay in full or you prefer to just do that deposit of like 350 bucks or whatever and just use it for a couple weeks and see how you like it?
Just a deposit.
Deposit. All right, beautiful. We'll do that. Awesome. And so I'm going to pause there for today. All right. But here's where I would be like, all right, well, let me show you the accessories real quick just to see if there's anything that you see, whether it's for gifts or for you. Because like I mentioned in the beginning, Miss Nettie, the more you buy it once, the more you actually end up saving. So I always love to show my customers everything. So whether you end up getting it now, or at least, you know, for the future, you can see what we have. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'll show them that and say, hey, was there anything else there that you'd want to know prices on? And they're like, oh, that fishing knife, or oh, you know, and we go there and then we could add for it. Okay. And so and then if not, then we're going to go into drop down. So Morgan, I'm not doing that. I told them today I was just going to do this part. So we'll do a part 2 where I go through like the drop down and what that looks like if they don't purchase. But I wanted you guys to just kind of see the actual presentation because obviously I've done it a lot. You know, it didn't sound like that my first time doing it or my first week, but every time you do it and you go through it, like you just get more comfortable, right? And in a couple weeks, I'm actually going to do like my demo for whoever wants to watch, which is a little bit more like advanced, a little bit more loose. And that's like after doing it, I don't know, about 1,000 times, what that looks like, because you learn to hit your objectives, right? Like, what are my objectives? My objective number 1 is to connect with my customer. Like, that is my first objective. All right. Oh, thank you, buddy. My next objective is to make sure that yeah, I know, that I establish, you know, credibility for the company. You know, once I do that and I establish credibility, my next objective is to create a problem, right? If there isn't a problem, they don't need a solution. And so it's not as much about the words. We give you guys the words in the beginning. Sorry, he wants to be a mama. It's okay. We give you guys the words in the beginning so that you can learn the things to say. And then it becomes more about just, you know, hitting those objectives, right? And so the more you say the words, the more you learn the material. And then going field training and watching others, you're able to gain some great things. And so that's really helpful.